the Enchanted Forest, and the Midnight Melody. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a magical forest called the Whispering Woods. The trees were tall and wise, their leaves shimmering in shades of gold and silver under the moonlight. The forest was home to many wonderful creatures, talking rabbits, glowing fireflies, and gentle giants who guarded the land. But the most magical thing about the Whispering Woods was the Midnight Melody, a secret song that only played when the moon was at its highest in the sky. Every night, the creatures of the forest would gather under the great oak, the oldest and wisest tree in the forest, to listen to the Midnight Melody. It was said that the song held the power to grant one wish to anyone who truly needed it. But there was a catch. Only a pure heart, filled with kindness and courage, could hear the song. One quiet night, a little boy named Leo found himself lost in the Whispering Woods. He had been chasing a firefly that had danced through his window when, suddenly, he realized he was far from home. But instead of being scared, Leo was curious. The forest felt alive around him, and he could hear the soft whispers of the trees telling tales of long-forgotten times. As Leo wandered deeper into the forest, he came upon a tiny mouse named Miri, who was crying under a mushroom. "Why are you crying, little mouse?" Leo asked kindly. Miri looked up at him with teary eyes. "I lost my way home, and I need to find my family before the Midnight Melody plays, or I might never hear it again." Leo felt a pang of sympathy for the tiny mouse. "Don't worry, Miri. I'll help you find your way home." Together, they traveled through the forest, following the glimmering paths of moonlight that led them closer to Miri's home. Along the way, they met a sleepy owl named Orion, who offered them guidance, and a friendly fox named Faye, who led them through the trickiest parts of the forest. As they journeyed, Leo found himself becoming braver and kinder with each step. He listened to the stories of the creatures they met, helped a family of birds find their way back to their nest, and even shared his last piece of bread with a hungry squirrel. Finally, they reached the edge of the Whispering Woods, where Miri's family was waiting anxiously. Miri's mother, a wise old mouse, hugged her daughter tightly and thanked Leo for his kindness. As the clock struck midnight, the moon hung high in the sky, and the forest fell silent. Leo held his breath, hoping he might hear the Midnight Melody. And then, as if the forest itself had taken a deep breath, the air was filled with the most beautiful music Leo had ever heard. It was a melody that made his heart feel light and his soul feel warm. The music wrapped around him like a soft blanket, and in that moment, Leo knew he could make a wish. But instead of wishing to find his way home, Leo wished for something else. "I wish," he whispered, "that everyone in the Whispering Woods always finds their way home, no matter how lost they may be." As the last notes of the Midnight Melody faded into the night, Leo felt a gentle breeze lift him off the ground. The next thing he knew, he was back in his own bed, tucked under his warm blankets. The firefly he had been chasing earlier was now resting on his windowsill, glowing softly. Leo smiled, knowing that the Whispering Woods were safe and that everyone had found their way home. He closed his eyes, the memory of the Midnight Melody playing softly in his mind, and drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the magical forest and the friends he had made. And from that night on, every time Leo closed his eyes, he could still hear the Midnight Melody, reminding him of the power of kindness, courage, and a wish made with a pure heart. The end.